Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Josh, Clean Waivers Podcast, coming with you one more time this week. We appreciate you joining us again. We got football back. It was a glorious, glorious Sunday afternoon slash night. I don't know about these guys. I know they were probably watching college football on Thursday or on Saturday. But we are very excited to have some football to talk about. Baseball season, basketball season is kind of starting to wrap up a little bit, but we're in full swing mode of football right now. That's going to be the majority of the show. Once again this week, we got a lot to talk about. Let's get back for Brian and Kitty and Rance. How was your week, guys?
Good times.
Great.
Okay.
Good deal. Let's do it.
The biggest stories of the
Can't have you guys talk too much yet. Can't be wasting time on intros. We got shit to talk about here.
Once the NFL started back up, there is no time for intros.
No time. We don't care what you guys had, how your week was, really. Let's get to clear the waivers. Start off with that Thursday night kickoff game. Started off the show the same way the NFL season started off. The Chiefs beating the Texans 34-20 in a game that was not as close as the score kind of indicates there. It was a good all-around win from the Chiefs' perspective. It was a very, satisfactory win. Very satisfying, I should probably say. It was good all around, but let's kind of get to things that kind of jump out to us. Let's start with that offense, Brian. What did you see from that offense that, did anything surprise you, or what did you think about that?
Oh, they unleashed Clyde, hot and heavy. He got 25 carries for 138 yards, which was way more than I thought. I thought he might get 15 carries. And you
25 touches, maybe?
Yeah, and it ended up being that because he didn't catch any balls. But
right.
I think that'll change as the year goes on. You'll see him get 5 or 6 catches a game probably. They mixed in Darrell Williams a little bit. I think he got 7 carries compared to 25. Catches. I thought it was going to be more of like a 60-40 split to at least start the year. But my God, they just said we're in. Clyde's in, and he's the man, and we're going to ride his ass, and they did. And I think the other thing that stood out to me was what problem this team presents to everyone was on evidence that night. They had 4 guys with 6 or more targets. So it wasn't just one guy that they were going to. The Texans kind of tried to shut down Tyreek. They focused on Tyreek in the first half. So you saw Kelsey eat a lot. You saw Sammy Watkins eat a lot. They got a lot of targets to Marcus Robinson.
Yep.
And so, you saw Tyreek finally getting some targets there in the second half. But, that's why this team is such a monster to go against, not just because they have Mahomes back there, is because they've got so many weapons that they can go to.
Yeah, kind of like almost like a sinking ship, or I don't know if anybody's seen Vegas Vacation when we got the Leafs coming on and Chevy Chase is trying to plug up the holes with bubble gum, and they start blowing bubbles and stuff. Once you plug one, another one's going to pop up down here.
That's right.
You just don't have enough guys, which was always the case. That's not new. The new part is Clyde Edwards-Helaire that is providing more balance. I know Craig Stout had talked to it a couple of weeks ago, as well as back a couple months ago when he talked to us, that this is going to be a more balanced team, and that's only going to benefit everybody.
And it made for, I don't want to say it made it more boring game when they're not chucking it 50 times, but it kind of does. I love watching Clyde, beat man one-on-one every time in the hole, but the drives are going to be longer. And scoring is not going to be quite as dynamic as they were, but you're also protecting your franchise quarterback by handing the ball off a few more times.
Yep.
And so having that balance, even though there's some people that say you don't need a run game at all to win the NFL, you probably don't. But if you can, it sure makes it nice.
Yeah. They had 4 drives in the first half. The first drive was an 8-play punt. Then they followed up with 2 touchdown drives. The first one was 11 plays, 75 yards. The next one was 16 plays for 91 yards, and then 4 plays for 48 yards to end the half. But if you're extending out drives like that, it keeps the defense fresh, especially in a Spagnuolo defense that loves the blitz. That's a very important thing. They'd only have, 4, maybe 5 guys at D tackle. Also a very important thing to keep those guys kind of fresh. So, it's only going to benefit them in this balanced offense approach because, what's the problem with balance? I know that explosive, high-efficiency, big play is still going to be there to rest on. So I'm not scared if they run the ball 2 times, the first, second down, they get 4 yards total. You're going to leave Pat to get up a 3rd and 6. He does that in his sleep, literally. So I'm totally for this balanced offense, even if it is a little more boring. I think boring in this situation leads to more championships in my part.
Yeah, and it was a really clean game too. I mean, they had one penalty for 5 yards and no turnovers, and I don't think this team loses any games this year if they keep that up.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you saw from the Texans, even in a vanilla offense where they were kind of playing ball control, the Texans were still very much just trying to keep up with them. It's in their heads knowing that this offense can go off whenever they want to.
They saw it firsthand.
They're going to start going on fourth and fives more often, and those failures are going to lead to momentum switches. Home field advantage is completely nullified now. So, I mean, it's a big deal. I think that putting the pressure on other teams to still feel like they need to keep up, knowing that it's basically a sleeping giant ready to wake right up.
Right, and you talk about the fourth down plays, and I thought we were going to see a whole new Andy Reid this year when they went for 4th and short on their own 35-yard line in the first half. Mm-hmm. I thought we may never see punters again unless we're packed up on inside our own 5 or 10-yard line.
Thanks for coming out, Tommy Townsend.
That didn't carry through the rest of the night. I kind of still wish they would kind of buy into that all gas, no brakes mentality. But I think part of what drives that punting is he has so much more trust in his defense and in Spagnuolo now too. You look at the numbers there too. We got a fun little tidbit that came out tonight. It's going on Twitter that they were the number 1 team in the NFL on defensive pressures at the quarterback.
By
and
far.
they had 24, and the next best was 14 for Washington. Mm-hmm. And I mean, much was made of how much Carson Wentz got sacked, but when you're pressuring the quarterback 60% of the times he drops back, that has a huge effect on your confidence in your defense.
Getting in the backfield with Deshaun Watson is a smidge different than getting in the backfield with Carson Wentz.
Yeah. Yeah, a little more escape to Deshaun.
So, 24 pressures, 4 sacks, 8 quarterback hits, which is not nothing. So you do have to credit Deshaun for having a decent, really good game, all things considered. But, I mean, it just seemed like that pass rush was on him, which, I mean, it kind of a side note that we kind of talked about that Houston offense last week, how it was like more like spreading out the field. They got a lot of vertical threats. That's going to be not good if your O-line cannot get enough protection for them to run those long routes, which I think is going to be a big problem. It's going to put a lot of pressure on those underneath routes that they weren't quite there, it looked like. But, I mean, that's just a little Texans tidbit for you. Yeah, we can talk about that defense here. The lone turnover comes from that honey badger pressure that hit Deshaun's arm. Rookie L'Jarius Sneed, great game from Sneed. He had a coming out party as well. That was kind of my big takeaway in general, was how good the rookies were, and that wasn't even with their 2 of their 3 top picks in Willie Gay and I can't ever remember his name, Lucas Yang. Neither one of those guys played, and they still had a really good showing from the rookies. But 1 turnover the whole game, a lot of pressure, like we said. Ryan, did you have any takeaways from this defense?
I was the same way. What comes with that pressure helping out that young secondary? Because I think that was the number 1 question coming into this year, was how they were going to plug those holes in the cornerbacks, especially with Breeland being out first 4 weeks. You got some guys that are kind of unproven you're throwing out there, and maybe they've shown up, like Rashad Fenton had to fill in there when Javarius Ward broke his hand. And I mean, that's still a concern. But when you're getting the pressure on the quarterback that quickly, that just helps out those guys so much. They don't have to cover a guy for 8 to 10 seconds. And like you said, L'Jarius Sneed is what stuck out to me. That's who, like you said, Craig Stout mentioned he was going to play, and he was going to play well. And by the time Breeland comes back, he's not going to play anymore. Basically, is what he was predicting.
And he was right, man. It looked like he really, like I said, had a coming out party. He really grabbed that opportunity by the horns.
And he got tested. I mean, they went right at him real early, and he showed up.
It was a tall task.
He only gave up 2 catches for 19 yards, and he had 2 pass breakups on the game. Yep. And I mean, they kind of stopped attacking him once they figured out that he had good ball skills and could cover. They kind of went some other directions, but I mean, I don't know how you can't be excited coming away from that game. The offense, like I said, it wasn't that explosion, like party all the time type of game, but it was just like kind of carefree as a fan watching it, because you just felt good about the team. That didn't really make you nervous, whether they were on offense or defense, really. Yeah. And I think that if we're going to – a couple of things that kind of surprised me, I guess, was we all kind of hoped, I think, that McCole Hardman would really step into that third wide receiver role, and they're still got Demarcus Robinson out there quite a bit, getting him a lot of work. McCole Hardman got 1 touch on offense the entire night. Like, he got 6 yards out of it. But I was surprised that he didn't get any more run on offense, and I was surprised that we didn't see Willie Gay Jr. on defense at all. I think that's going to change here pretty quickly, but I was surprised he didn't get a single snap on defense. So I'm hoping he gets worked in here soon, because he's just going to add another layer of athleticism that defense.
Yep, 100%. Yeah, the usage I think I saw was McCole was like 28%, which is what he was used for in the Super Bowl. So it seems, and if they're sticking with, they wanted it to be a CEH outcoming party for him, basically. And it seemed like they were a little bit more vanilla at that point. So maybe that's why they didn't really want to break out the McCole usage and the big plays and the gimmicky stuff that they could use him, and really was his bread and butter. But I mean, I don't know. It just seems like another weapon that's in the holster, ready to get cocked and rolled.
Right, and I'm not trying to say that it's bad that Demarcus Robinson is still playing that much or still getting that many targets. He had a couple of bad drops that night, but by no means am I saying he's inadequate to be the wide receiver 3. I just thought the McCole being a high draft pick, having all that speed, this would be the year that he would kind of break out, take over that role completely, and then you just see DeMarcus filling in, gassing people. But
2 big drops from DeMarcus might change the script a little bit, but he's always been pretty solid the last couple seasons. So
everybody
has those weird jitters, and like I said, that 17,000 fan stadium was weird, but they were still pretty loud, and it, maybe a little jitters. Maybe everybody's getting used to the new norm, and we'll see how it goes. But the other thing I kind of wanted to say, something I didn't know. So I looked at the next gen stats today, and L'Jarius Sneed had the second fastest ball carrier speed play of the weekend, running 21.38 miles per hour. I didn't know he was that fast, but apparently he had the 4th fastest 40 time in the combine this year.
Yeah, you don't hate that, man, especially showing the cover skills that he did. You kind of wonder how he went in the 4th round. I was
listening to AP Laboratory today, and they were talking about that they had no idea why Sneed was playing safety last year, and that's why he's on the Chiefs, because if he would have been a corner a senior year of college, he would have been taken as a corner, and it would have been way more on the radar at that point. So
I'm just glad they had enough tape to be convinced to take him, because I'm loving everything I see so far.
Yep. But more out of the rookies, Mike Dana, Nick Keiser, Tershawn Wharton, all pretty solid, especially after the Colin Saunders injury. They got a little dinged up on the defensive end, so these rookies need to step up a little bit more, maybe get a little bit more action next week. But, that's basically all I had. Brian, do you have any other closing arguments or observations on this game?
Well, we saw what thought was impossible. Mitch Schwartz got beat on a pass rush. I couldn't believe that. That guy beat him around the edge, and I was just shocked. You just don't ever see that. It's not cause for concern or anything. I'm not thinking he's
get him out.
No. We can trust Big Mitch. I think we'll be all right going forward. But I was shocked to see that he gave up a hit.
Yep, he's all pro for a reason. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. They got the Chargers at a 3:30 game this week. You think that'll be a bloodbath, but we'll surely see how it goes. Let's move on. Get Rance and Kitty. Wake up, guys. Wake up. We're
still here?
You guys there?
All right. Okay. I'm here.
I need need a marker, Rance. You need an expo.
Could have brought one in.
It's game time. I need you guys to give me a little bit more. We're going to cover the rest of the NFL here. A lot of interesting games, a lot of interesting storylines, injuries, weird outcomes. There's at least a couple of washed quarterbacks that had a coming out party themselves. But Rance, what was your did you have a couple standouts or just one you wanted to talk about first?
Aaron Rodgers, man. Everybody wanted to write him off.
Yep.
Nobody thrives on thinking they're finished like Aaron Rodgers does. Like they can bury him. And I said the Vikings, they're not very good. I don't think they're very good. They play nothing but young guys in the secondary, and they just got picked up hard. 43 points. Rodgers, 4 touchdowns, threw for over 360. Pretty impressive performance.
Yep.
We
talked about the Packers only having maybe 2 or 3 weapons. and the Vikings just refused to nullify those.
Yeah, you might want to guard
did
Devontae
nothing to
Adams.
stop anybody.
Nope.
Did nothing to deter anyone from doing anything.
Yep.
And the FU tour has begun.
Yes,
Yep,
it
I
has.
think so. I mean, that was impressive to come out of the gates like that and slinging it the way he did.
I mean, those
That's
were
the one.
vintage dimes he was dropping. He throws a beautiful deep ball that just drops right in this bucket.
No one throws one better, I don't think. I mean, I know Mahomes, but, you know, as long as Rodgers has been playing, nobody throws the deep ball better than he does.
I think Russ is probably in that conversation too, but
Yeah,
it's just uncanny how, and Rodgers might do this better than Pat, but it's just like a little flick of the wrist and it launches, man. He's still got plenty of power in that arm.
Yeah.
Old Russ had a big day too, Mr.
Yes, he
Worldwide or whatever you guys call him.
Mr. Unlimited.
Unlimited.
The Worldwide. I think that's taken currently, right?
That's right. And Mr. 305.
Mr. 305.
He only had 4 completions, 31 of 35 for Russ.
Wow.
4
And
TDs.
one of those was like a bad, like tipped pick, wasn't it? It wasn't his fault.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember exactly what the story was by that, but yeah, just an awesome. That game itself was a barn burn between them and Atlanta. No defense played, none.
Not much. No.
Matt Ryan had like 450 yards. I know Julio went for 150.
3 guys went for over 100. Ridley,
Unbelievable.
Julio, and some guy named Gage. Justin Gage, maybe?
He came on late last season, but Justin Gage. Yep. The old
12
Zero
Gage.
Rider. Welcome
was
back,
him.
Justin
Out of the
Gage.
woodwork.
God,
That's
I
the only
love
Gage
12
I'm worried
gauge.
about. Yep. Kitty, what was your standout for the week?
I mean, it's got to be old Gardner Minshew making our Colts pick look stupid.
Yeah.
All he just does is go 19 or 20, just controls the game, and they come out ahead. I mean, it helped with you got the old textbook Phillip Rivers back-breaking fourth-quarter interception that he just
Lives for it.
seems to it's almost like it's a incentive in his contract. Or fourth quarter picks you throw while it's a 1-score game, you get a fucking $50,000 bonus the way he throws those things.
Yeah,
That's insane. So that was one to me because we all had the Colts. I mean, I think everyone had that was a survival pool bloodbath on that one and Philly. Just everyone had the Colts going in, knocking down. Jacksonville was going to be the worst team in the league this year. So
They ain't tanking.
nice win for them.
Yeah,
For the record, we all had Indianapolis winning the NFC South.
Yeah, it's a road loss, and it's a road loss in the division. It's fine. We're all good still, right?
It's early.
We're
It
good.
is early, and that
Well,
AFC South might be a train wreck.
I had
exactly.
them written down here too, but we all thought that the Colts were bringing in Rivers and they have this dominant run offense and maybe just kind of use him as an experienced game manager type role. He passed it 46 times.
40s.
Yeah, that's really not
46
necessary.
times. What are you doing?
Yep.
Losing.
Losing the game.
And they lost Mac too, so that's really going to stress the running game a little more
tough.
too. But
It wasn't like a
It's,
game they were down 20 the entire half.
no, they were ahead for the most of the game.
They're
and
ahead
then
most of the game, I thought.
What was
Well,
the
the
final
fourth,
score? It was just in the 20s, right?
27-20.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like they needed a pass to keep up with the juggernaut known as the Jacksonville Jaguar offense.
right, exactly.
Seemed
Yeah, it was
ridiculous.
bizarre. Another one I
strange.
thought was old Kyler Murray running wild on the
Mm-hmm.
Niners defense, and he had 13 carries, 91 yards, and a touchdown, and he was just slippery. It's like the only word that came to mind for me. I mean, no matter, they looked like you'd have him, and he just had that little bit of extra burst there where he'd get around and get past somebody and get the positive yardage, get a first down conversion, just did everything with
That
his legs.
last touchdown that was the nail in the coffin was impressive. Just, I mean, the fact that he didn't really have the angle. He just beat him to the spot.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, that was the that's why the Oakland A's liked him so much in the outfield.
Yeah.
That speed.
I mean, that was the weird thing. I was telling Brian this when he got drafted. I was like, Kyler Murray apparently has like 80 grade speed. I was like, I don't see that at all. I see it now. I get it. I understand. It's there now. Yeah.
And agility and acceleration. I mean, the guy can
Good arm.
move.
Yep. Little
Yeah, I love
fella
that.
out.
I think we're going to
Hopkins
love that
came
they're
out
mostly going to play 3:00 games this year too, because they
Right.
only put like 3 or 4 games in the afternoon usually. So I think we're going to get to see a lot of Kyler Murray.
Definitely.
I like that.
Him and that DeAndre Hopkins connection was nasty.
Yeah.
Just didn't get the touchdown and everything else.
I mean, we got to address Bucks Saints, right? I mean,
I think we have to.
I think
That's
so.
the elephant in the room.
it was the game of the week, and it did not disappoint. It gave us
Anything but.
almost everything we wanted to see as haters, except maybe Kitty. He might not have wanted to see it, but
I wish Breeze looked a lot better than he did.
yeah,
as an
but
owner.
Yeah.
that's the weird thing about it. Like Michael Thomas went out pretty early with a high ankle sprain,
Yeah.
and they still just the machine just kept humming. They just kept feeding Kamara, and they've just got multiple other weapons to go to now. And
Kamara's back, by the way.
yeah, he
Yeah,
looked
I don't-
really
I mean,
good.
He didn't get too
Gotta
far
get that
away
money.
last year, but man, he's back.
And I
He
think
already
Rance
got the
pointed
bag.
out how big of a signing Emmanuel Sanders was for the Saints,
Yeah.
and I think that paid off too.
He did nothing until the last couple drives, and then he was all over the damn place.
Yep,
Yeah.
I like him.
Thomas went out and he kind of made some plays for him.
Mm-hmm.
And Brady's pick six, that's always fun to watch.
That was-
Always fun to
Since
see.
it's 3 straight games, he's had a pick 6 now. He's Matt Schaub territory.
And that pass too was just so satisfying because not only was it like a terrible accuracy pass, he was, and he just doesn't have enough oomph on his arm to get that out pattern anymore.
Just hate to see it, man.
Yeah,
Just hate to see it.
I thought I was
Real
kind of
bummer.
I was kind of surprised by some of his throws. Looked like he did have a little more zip on some of the ones he would drive in.
Early on, he did. He was
Yeah.
airing it out. Yeah.
So I'm just like, apparently all those plyometrics, and just get on that, get our shoulders ready to go. If you guys can pick up that, anyone looking to play softball next summer, man, get on that plyometrics for the next 6 months. Your shoulder will be in great shape.
Yep.
I was also a little shocked to see when they were clearly struggling on offense that he didn't rely on his crutch Gronk. He got 3 targets the entire day.
Yep.
He pretty much
Nothing.
was worthless. 2 catches for 11 yards.
There's a new crutch.
Well, he's got
That
other
guy,
weapons.
what's his name? Smith?
Smith.
Thought that's what his name was.
You
Scott
got
Miller?
O.J. Howard.
No. Might be Miller. It was some old white some little white dude name.
Yeah, second-year player,
Yeah.
Scott Miller,
Scotty
Yeah.
Miller.
That's
Yeah.
his new one. That's his new Wes Welker.
and Julian Edelman, and yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
In a PPR league, I'd say giddy up on that guy because
Well, how much did he catch?
He got 5
he
catches
had
for
6
73.
catches, 5 yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty productive.
That's a Julian Edelman line.
Godwin
if
was
I'd
6 for
ever seen it.
79.
And Evans was banged up and only got 2 targets and scored
One
a
catch
touchdown.
for
Got
6
the
yards.
one
One
6
catch
yards.
for 2 yards, and it was a touchdown.
Touchdown.
Saved his day there.
4 targets.
Both teams had over 100 yards in penalties. I think this game would have been way uglier had that not been the case. Because there
Yikes.
were some big long passes that got some PIs called.
Yeah.
I
What's
did-
yours, Josh?
I did appreciate after that game that Bruce Arians just got in Tom Brady's ass. I did
Yeah,
very
that
much
was
appreciate
good.
it because
Gosh, yeah.
everybody in the world would have been like, "Oh, he's probably going to coddle Tom Brady because he's Tom Brady." Not Bruce Arians. He pretty much just blamed the entire day on him, and I loved it.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot too.
I did too.
Let's
Did
see how that plays
Did
out.
Brady ever have a rebuttal? Did he say anything, or just
Not
kind
that I
of
saw.
take it?
I mean, he probably
That's what I
did
kinda
take it for
thought.
the most part. I don't think he doesn't seem like that big of an ego guy.
No. He
Yeah,
probably would
yeah.
agree with him, but
yeah,
he also secretly probably hates that he dragged him on, publicly like
in
that.
public. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that's fair. But yeah, Brady doesn't seem like that type of dude. So we covered Green Bay, Seattle, LA Rams. All 3 of them were like, "Hey, don't forget about us here. We're still really, really good." Rams, Cowboys, or is that already out of your mind?
I tried not to get too upset with my daughter sleeping. I yelled
Okay.
there at the very beginning when the Rams just went down the field like a hot knife through butter, throwing screens and dump passes. And then, Dallas is off. I mean, they don't kick the field goal to go for the tie, but they really had some opportunities to score, and they didn't seize any opportunities. Injuries, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think the Rams are better than. I mean, they had a tough year last year, so they're better than what people are kind of giving them credit for now. I think.
And Dallas has already lost their tight end for the year. Van Der Esch out 6 to 8 weeks. Lionel Collins is an IR. I mean, it's over.
But
It's already over.
I think that tight end going down is going to be CeeDee Lamb time.
I thought they would use him a little bit more. I really did. I mean, he had a few nice grabs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'd like to see him get 10, 12 targets a game.
I think it'll come.
Zeke ran hard, though. I did like seeing that. He looked like he had a little – like he was fresh. He
got
ran
a new
pretty
tattoo.
hard.
He needs to –
Yeah.
Show that off.
Yeah.
Feed me.
What was
Haven't
that?
quite got feed me.
What was it exactly?
There was nothing on there. It said feed me on Zeke's belly, and my tummy just has gross hair and.
Well,
I
wasn't talking about your belly exactly.
Okay.
I was talking about what was on Zeke's gut. I couldn't exactly tell.
My stomach is just a belly button. It's like a Narlac pit from Star Wars. So yeah, those were probably parties for good old weeks for San Francisco, Dallas, like we kind of said. We need to talk about Cam Newton, Patriots game.
Do we?
Oh, I'm gonna talk about it in the next segment. That you can count on that.
Okay, we'll save that there. Baltimore beat the ever living shit out of Cleveland. What else is new? I mean, Lamar Vick.
Got my
really
yeah.
good.
I mean, it was insane.
He had a really good week. He's going to put me to bed on that fraud pick, yeah.
Because their backs didn't do nothing yardage-wise.
No.
Mark Ingram had hardly anything. Dobbins had
goal line runs.
Just goal line runs.
Yep.
I mean, and they still just beat the absolute dog shit out of them.
Mark Andrews looks like a problem.
Andrew looks really good. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Always Marquise Brown is always
Marquise
really
Brown
good.
was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they look really impressive. It's hard to tell how impressive they are on a team like not the Browns because the Browns are going to Brown apparently no matter who's on the team.
Yeah.
I made my hot take last week was the Tampa Bay was the new Browns, and now I'm kind of wondering which one is going to Brown harder between the Bucks and the Browns. Maybe they'll both Brown.
Who's going to have the strongest skid marks?
That's right. And what does the skid mark? I mean,
marks.
Is it length or is it girth of skid marks that makes it worse? Because I mean, I think they're both different kinds of Browns.
They're both going to shit them and fill them.
Yeah, it's not going to be great in either scenario. So
Yep.
those are basically my standouts. This week
Joe
we'll see how it
Burrow.
goes.
Joe Burrow. Don't forget
B.
Don't forget my boy Joe Burrow. I got the Bengals hat on this week. I was ready.
Yeah.
He made some horrible rookie mistakes in that game with that one with the shovel pass and the other one with the
that was odd.
sideways pass / fumble. And but that last drive, 8 of 11 for 70 yards. He had him in position to at least get the tie. And Randy Bullock gets cramps on his kick.
Oh, that tub of lard.
goodness.
That
What
tub
an
of
ass.
lard trots out there with his jersey untucked. Knew he missed it immediately and then grabs his hammy. Oh, God, I'm finished.
The funny thing, I think he grabbed his left hammy. He grabbed hammy, and then after the game, he said it was the other hammy. So
It was
nice.
The coach said he was cramping up, so it was
Cramping up on a low 70-degree day, just
There's a
absolutely
story.
cramping
There's
up.
the right stories in there somewhere beyond maybe just shanking a fucking kick.
I mean, the Chargers were set to lose another game just the way the Chargers
They always do. Yeah,
Always,
and they weren't even rushing the kick. They were conceding that kick. Like, we're not going to try to do anything. We're just going to let you kick it. And he blew it.
that's the way to ice the kicker is just not care. He pooped. It was interesting. I mean, seeing all the teams kind of in action, it was very interesting to see the teams that we kind of talked about were going to get a little sloppy. The teams that didn't have like the team chemistry and built-in familiarity with each other. I think that certainly was the thing. But there were plenty of teams that looked like they hadn't missed a beat from last season. It looked very much. I mean, the Ravens, the Chiefs, all these teams that had success last year outside of the Niners, still looked like they were still humming, still doing well, and had no problems. So curious to see how it kind of goes the more we kind of get deeper in the season, how it kind of progresses from there. Let's move into the last segment of Clear the Waivers. A favorite of mine. We're going to start planting some flags. The hot takes are going to be flowing. We're going to overreact. This is week 1 in the NFL. It's time to overreact. We're going to get into an F is for fraud. We haven't done an F is for fraud since last season. So week 1 in the books. We've seen everything we need to see to start declaring frauds. Let's go with Kitty first. Kitty, who is your F is for fraud this week?
Can I do a player or do I have to do a team?
Nope, it could be anything. It doesn't even have to be football, man.
It could be a chip.
It could be a chip. Don't you dare.
Regular Cheetos.
Don't you dare. You son of a bitch.
I'm going to go with Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this guy, came out guns blazing when he got in the league. Like, missed the first 3 or 4 weeks of that his rookie season with a little being banged up, and then came out blazing. First 2 years, just unbelievable. Then he becomes a malcontent on the sidelines, gets traded. All right. You got your wish. You didn't want to be in New York any longer.
Gets paid and then gets traded.
Who can blame you if you didn't? The Giants is a bit of a dumpster fire in itself. So, okay, have fun in Cleveland. It's your next stop on your world tour of terrible teams. And, and now he's claiming, I need to get involved earlier in the game plan. Come on. That's BS.
Sounds like T.O.
Get out there. At least if he had T.O.'s track record of success, he could get away with it. But, he hasn't done anything for a couple years now.
No.
You got to put up or shut up time. This guy is about to get traded again or cut or whatever. It's going to be – I bet there's some teams calling the Browns right now trying to get him, and they're going to be disappointed too.
And he loves a good Cleveland steamer.
Yeah, you think he'd fit right at home. And
he was at home
his current town.
Real.
Allegedly.
Yeah, it's a match made in heaven. Heaven. I don't know if that's right, but Rance, give us your F's for fraud.
I wrote down several teams, and I think, after that first week, I think you got to go with the Colts. I put my Cowboys down, but I still think you got to go with the Colts. Players are begging to get out of Jacksonville. Nobody wants to be there. Nobody. They can't get out of there fast enough. But the Colts, this is what they deserve for signing Phillip Rivers to that huge deal. He does exactly what Phillip Rivers does. He throws. We said this months ago. He's going to lose some games, and sure enough, my God, first week,
immediately.
It's immediate impact on how. He's done as far as winning games to me. He just chucks it around and he prays. And like Brian was saying, to throw the ball 46 times is just insanity. I don't understand. And and if you're the Colts and you think you have a legitimate shot to be a contender and you have one of the best offensive lines around, you got to pound the rock a little bit. Don't just sit back there and throw.
Which is what that's what everybody and their sister thought they were going to do this year. They were a great run team last year. They drafted Jonathan Taylor, Marlon Mack is there, Naheem Ward is a great third down back. It looked like they were just going to pound. Phillip Rivers wasn't going to be carrying them across the finish line with his arm. At least no one thought. But then they came out and scored 46 to keep up with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah. I wonder if we see a quick game plan adjustment going forward.
Yeah,
in that regard.
I would think so.
Might have quite a shift on week 2 for Indianapolis's play calling.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see what the pass attempts are week 2.
What's your F's for fraud, Brian?
Well, I had Colts as my number 2 fraud on here. I'm right there with Rance. Number 1, though, the Pats. And I still think the Pats are good enough to beat the wild card. I got them as a wild card. I think the Bills are still going to win the division. But, my God, reading social media on Sunday while the Pats were playing, you would think the Pats are as good as they've always been, and everyone's an idiot for not signing Cam Newton. And my biggest idiot is the Dolphins' defense didn't look prepared at all to defend the read option. And that's just all they did all day long. Read option, some other trap, and then they'd do a play action rollout with him. And it just seemed like they're so easy to defend right now because they've got no receivers that scare you at all. Even Edelman looks slow as death. Yep. So why you don't have – almost legit cover 0 against them and at least have an extra guy on the edge. Like, it was so obvious to make those reads for him. There was one guy left to read, and there was nobody left on the outside. And it was just it just seemed like such a stupid defensive game plan. And Flores is a defensive guy that came from New England. I mean, he's seen this shit. I mean, he knows that Tom Brady didn't run this offense, but he knows Josh McDaniels ran this same offense with Tebow. You saw the Tebow offense on Sunday, and they had no answer for it. And people also acted like they're blowing the doors off them. They had 7 points at halftime. I mean, this is not an explosive offense. It's just going to be –
that was very much a game in the third quarter.
They're just going to they're going to try to do what the Colts should be doing, and that's just run, and hope their defense is dominant enough to make them a good team. And I think they're going to be exposed as frauds when they go to Seattle this week, and I think Seattle's going to put a pounding on them. I think Jamal Adams is the perfect guy to have going against a quarterback like Cam Newton.
Yeah.
He is going to come in there firing, and he's going to put some legit shots on Cam, I think, this week. Yep. I think you pointed out how many times Cam got hit on Sunday. If that continues, he ain't going to make it, man. I mean,
15 carries.
And we
15. I think he's going to get. He got hit hard a few times. It looked like too.
Yes.
They were showing those, having the highlights or red zone on, and it just he took some big shots still. So that's going to be a battle to stay healthy if he's going to run it 15 times a game.
And this
got his chain snagged too.
This is exactly what we talked about when they first signed him. Was that in Carolina they kind of ruined him because they tried to protect him as the franchise quarterback and say, don't run so much, don't take so many hits, so stay in the pocket and throw the ball. Well, the Patriots are going to use him like a Clydesdale because he signed for basically nothing. They're not invested in him. So they're going to run him to death, and if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. But if he doesn't, he's going to win games for us. I mean, they're basically just going to treat him like a horse, and
he's going to get punished.
For better or worse, it's going to add up, I think, on him. And so time will tell how that stacks up and how it plays out. But I think people need to calm down about that first game against the Dolphins. Let's chill.
Yeah. Let's
Fitzpatrick is known to be super hot cold too. So I mean, if he would have been, if it was a Fitzpatrick hot game, I mean, Dolphins could easily go and have won that game.
Absolutely.
I mean, they also made it a game in the third quarter. So if Fitzpatrick is on, that's a ball game.
Yep. So I've got them as frauds for a legit contender. Like I said, I still think they're going to be a good team because I think that defense is very good. And the run game is legit. I just don't think it's going to score a whole lot of points. So it's just a matter of how good that defense can be and how defenses adjust to what they saw from the Tebow offense basically last week. So,
yep. My F is fraud. We kind of covered it. The Minnesota Vikings. Just super disappointing. We kind of talked about their defense being washed up, but sweet Jesus. We said about it earlier. They had 2 or 3 weapons that you shut down and you're in good shape. We had 3 out of the 3 of us had them winning the NFC North, and also Kitty had them making the NFC playoffs. Rance is the only one who didn't want any part of them. So great job, Rance. You nailed that one because they look like absolute dog shit. No. You don't recover from being absolutely terrible. Not ever.
No team has ever ditched that fraud label.
No, never. I mean, the 49ers, we called them frauds early on, and they didn't get anywhere last year. Yeah, they got the Packers have 2 to 3 weapons. Aaron Jones wasn't even that big of a game. He had a pretty meh game. Devontae Adams had 17 targets, and he caught 14 of them.
Wow.
How do you let that happen? I mean, you don't even need to cover Marquez unless it's a deep pass. So just triple team Devontae Adams and don't let him get 14 out of 17 targets, and you're in good shape.
Definitely.
This is just absolutely atrocious. I will say that from now on, I'm just going to bet every Minnesota Vikings over. I don't care. Their defense is terrible, and their offense is just good enough to put up some numbers. So give me the over in every Minnesota Viking games this year.
Dalvin Cook looked good getting his money too.
Yep. He also, and the Adam Thielen garbage time there just absolutely murdered me in fantasy this week. I'm going to say
nobody gives a shit, Josh.
Just kicked my ass this week. Not cool. Minnesota Vikings, absolute frauds. That'll do it. Anybody else have any other frauds, any other hot takes you want to get out before we move on to shenanigans for the week?
Nope.
I better save them for future weeks.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah,
we
got to give all our frauds this week.
16 more weeks to get into the game.
Get all the frauds out this week.
Well, I mean, a lot of fraudulent activity happens anymore, so there's going to be plenty to go off of. But let's get to the shenanigans for the week. We've got some usual really good ones here. Starting off with the DFA. My turn.
Mm-hmm.
DFA is in the house tonight. Everybody just have a good time. You've been dedicated and assigned. DFA is in the house tonight.
Designated for assignment. My question: the order this week is going to go Rance, and then Kitty, and then Brian for the week. And why don't we just stick with week 1 in the NFL? I got the top 10 rushers this week lined out. I'm going to need you guys to give me the top 10 in rushing yards
just
in
from the
NFL
week
this week. Yep. Well, on the year. How about that?
Okay, that clears it up. Thanks.
Okay.
Touche.
Yep.
Good sir.
Starting off with Rance.
Well, Hilaire's got to be on there with his nice game.
The only 100-yard rusher on the week. Unless you count Kyler. He would have made it had he not had those 2 shotgun kneel downs. So I guess Kyler is also an answer.
Yeah, I'm going to go Kyler Murray if Mike is pick number 2.
Well, Josh
Hey,
is just
great job.
giving out answers.
Just giving them out to you.
I was going to guess him anyway because I mentioned he had 91 rushing yards last.
Yep. You did make
He
the
had
point.
over 100
yeah.
before those damn kneel downs.
Yeah.
Great point that we just
Shotgun
made.
kneel downs.
Josh just made that point, Brian.
Just made that point. No big deal.
God damn it.
Anybody else want to try to make that point?
Jesus, he's not paying any
Guys,
attention.
you guys-
I'm trying to
Absolutely.
accumulate names over here,
You
Josh.
see about his kneel downs? I heard that was pretty painful to his totals.
He did it in the shotgun, which was weird.
That's so weird.
You did him with
weird.
shotgun?
In the shotgun.
That's even more weird. Yeah.
Brian, who was the first one on your list that you made there?
All right, give
Yeah,
me
just
Derrick.
give us all of them.
Give me Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry did actually go over for 100. Rance.
All right.
Did you know Kyler Murray had 100 yards until he
Jacobs from
Josh
Oakland.
Jacobs,
Josh
93
Jacobs.
yards. Correct.
Nice.
Okay. Kitty.
Let's go with Lamar Jackson. Did he do it?
He did not do it.
Yeah.
He
Man.
had 45.
I would have thought he did. It seemed like they were on red zone
Based on
all
the
day
numbers
long.
they had, yeah.
He was dropping dimes, but he was not running it.
Okay.
Back to Brian.
I initially had Zeke written down, but I figured Rance would know if he had. I think he had like 90 some. That might still be good enough to be in the top 10. Give me Zeke.
Zeke had 96.
Mhm.
Correct.
All
I
right.
was just going to wait for one of you guys to get it.
Appreciate your generous.
So nice of you.
I want to say AP had a decent game.
Adrian Peterson, 93 yards.
Oh, wow.
Damn.
Did not
Yeah,
know
he was
that.
breaking chunks, 14 attempts. He is averaging 6.6. That'll
Looks
do.
like he's going to get a few more carries in that backfield, I would
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Back to Kitty.
I should have paid attention more this weekend.
Yeah, 4 more names.
I don't know. James Robinson, he have enough? I don't think he did, bro.
Oh, no, he did not. He
He was
had
like 60
62.
Yeah.
Kitty is his second option.
Yeah. I'll be kicked out of this. I'll be
Brian.
fade soon enough.
How about the aforementioned Dalvin Cook?
Dalvin
Oh, yeah.
Cook, not in here.
Damn it.
He had a lot of touchdowns, a lot of receiving yards. He only had 50 receiving yards. Or, I'm sorry, 50 rushing yards.
Wow.
Well, piss.
At least, I mean, from my research, which is always suspect, apparently. Rance.
You might have to go back and research this because it happened last night, but I think Benny Snell went over close to 100.
Benny Snell, 113 on 19 carries.
Wow.
Has to be up there.
That is not fun to my James Conner stock.
He's done.
Toast. Kitty. Final guess here.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and
Bow out.
Malcolm Brown got a lot of points on the yards, but Malcolm Brown.
I think
Malcolm
he's
Brown,
up there.
Number 10.
Yeah.
Nice.
He barely
All
broke the
right.
top 10 at 79.
I had him written down.
Stayed in the game.
I've got 2 more names, I believe.
Yeah, that's what
Yep, 2 more.
How about Alvin Kamara?
Alvin Kamara not on the list.
Damn, must been receiving for him too.
Where is he? Had a lot of receiving yards. I don't think he's in the top 50 of rushing yards.
What?
I do not see his name.
Rance, give us the 9th.
It's clue time, I think.
Well, he doesn't have any strikes.
I don't have any
No, he's got
strikes.
no
Okay.
Okay. Nobody said McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey. They scored a ton of points. Is he
that
in
your
there?
guess?
That is my guess. I'm sorry.
He is 4th at 96.
Nice work. Forgot about
France
him.
has run away with this, but you guys have
Yeah,
collectively one more name.
It's killing us.
Come on, guys.
Kitty.
Help me out. This is pathetic.
I got 2. Calm down. Jesus.
Two?
Getting all over me for going 2-2. Come on. Soon to be 2-3 when I can't think of anybody else to guess. Chris Carson.
Nope.
Dang.
He had a
That
great
was a
game.
good guess.
That was the name I had written down because I called him dead.
Yeah, he sucks.
All right, I mean, DFA'd. Fun while it lasted,
I'm
boys.
not real sure. I don't see
Brian,
Chris
do you
Carson
have
in the
any-
top 50 either?
Do you have any strikes, Brian?
I'm down to my last one here.
Oh, okay.
I know Saquon got shut down last night.
Yep. Definitely
What did
don't
we
go
say?
with him.
12 carries for 6 yards, but the longest
15 for
carry was
minus
7.
6. Yep, 15
Yeah.
carries for minus 6 yards.
Jesus, that's insane.
It wasn't minus 6. It was 6 total, and his longest run was 7.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was minus
I mean,
6.
I think if we've learned anything tonight, it's that my research is infallible.
Yep. That you know exactly what you're talking about.
Chris
at
Carson
all
only got
times.
6 carries, so that was a terrible guess.
He
by
caught
me.
some passes, and he got in the end zone.
He
a
got
lot.
2 touchdowns on 2 he got 2 receiving touchdowns, so it made us feel like he had a better day rushing.
I think it's a
That'll
fine
do.
guess. I had it written down as well.
Thank you.
Oh my God, I'm at the last one. This is going to be dumb, but how about Kareem Hunt?
It's not dumb. He was 14th.
Hmm.
That's not correct. So Rance has 3 shots to get the final name
I
here.
got no other names written down.
I haven't been writing down the strikes.
I mean,
Christ.
nobody for Denver.
Not Melvin Gordon. I mean, I had Austin Eckler in fantasy, and he didn't do
No, I don't
much.
think any of them did.
What
a
about
lot.
Joe Mixon?
He didn't do much either. They battled them up pretty good, I think. I feel like they did.
Cam?
He had like 60-some yard rushing, I think.
I thought the teamwork portion was when he was down to his last strike.
All right.
All right. Okay. Give me Raheem Mostert.
Ooh.
That's a good guess. He is not in there.
Okay.
Where is he?
I had him in fantasy. I saw he must have got a big catch or something.
He catches. Yep.
Yeah, that was that
I think
touchdown
that's
goes
right.
catch for the 80 yard or
Okay.
whatever.
So he's out. Kenyon Drake?
Is that a guess?
Yes.
20th was 60 yards.
That's horrible.
So that's
Now you
our
can-
final option.
Yep. Now you can. You can get a clue too.
Okay.
If I told you he's in the AFC, is that good enough?
That should help.
I mean, the Bills didn't. I don't think they
Bill
rushed.
Moss or Singletary didn't do a whole lot.
Josh Allen probably was a leading rusher.
Did Hines
They lost.
Who
AFC
who ran
team
the
that lost.
who ran the ball for Miami?
Miles Gaskin. I don't think anybody put up much there.
Well, the
What?
Jets barely moved the ball, so they couldn't have done nothing. We've already guessed the Browns. Steelers had Snell. Could it be DJ?
Ooh,
Oh, David Johnson on Thursday night.
I like
He did
that.
a lot of-
I like that.
Give me
Yeah.
David Johnson.
He rushed for 77 yards. Number 12.
Dang.
Oh, so close.
If I told you said his name in all that,
That's disappointing.
Yeah. Who was it?
Austin Eckler had 84 rushing yards.
He got that many
Wow.
rushing yards. Wow.
He must not have had hardly any catches then, because he only had 9 points. So he
Right.
usually gets his money on his, on the catches, the swing.
Philip
And they
Rivers
ran
given-
Josh Kelly a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
It's Joshua.
Shut up.
He had one
Okay.
catch for 3 yards.
Well, that's my fault then.
We should have been able to do that, guys.
Yep.
Yep.
That was one of the easier questions I thought we've ever had, and that was pretty pathetic performance, especially on Kitty's part.
Drank
Really.
too
Melvin
much beer
Gordon-
Sunday.
Melvin Gordon was 1 yard shy. 78.
Thanks.
David Johnson,
Appreciate it,
77.
Rance.
Cam Newton, 75.
Well, win some, you lose some.
Ball don't lie. I win.
Yeah, you did. Son of a gun.
Congratulations, Scott.
So I'm going to lead off the next game.
At least you know I didn't cheat there, Rance, like I've been accused of in the past. That much we know for sure.
Game. Waiver watch
Who accused you of cheating?
Waiver watch waiting game.
Rance has assailed my character on one occasion.
I mean, I don't think he's ever accused you of cheating, but he's assailed you on just about every other count that exists.
There was a cheating accusation on one of these games. Can't remember
I
what it
think I
was.
did say something one time because I thought I saw looking at his phone.
I was writing something down on a piece of paper. He's like, "What are you looking up something now again?"
I
Yep.
didn't think it was out of line statement.
I'm going to start off the waiver watch waiting game. Per usual, we've all got a show or a movie that we brought to the table to kind of guess the Rotten Tomato critic score of. And I'm going to go first, like I said. I've got Major League 2.
Ooh.
We've talked about this. It's my favorite baseball movie of all time.
Okay.
Got it.
I still think it's a really good comedic sequel in and of itself. I think we covered that.
I'm in.
I got it.
I think that during our baseball draft, I'm pretty sure you touched on that one quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with Kitty is going to guess first because he was the first one to go out in DFA.
Appreciate it. Thanks for bringing that up. I totally forget about that.
You got last. And did you know Kyler Murray would have been over 100 if he not? Have we said that
I
joke enough?
That doesn't sound right.
Okay.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
What were you saying?
I don't think the critics like this too much. I'm going to go with 42%.
Okay, Brian?
I'm right there, but I think they hated it even more at 32%.
Okay, Rance?
And I'm right in the middle at 37%. I'm sure they hated it.
Pretty much right in line on this one.
Even
Whether
though
all
I
really
thought it
good
was
or all
great.
shitty.
I think they hated its guts.
Well, this is another one that I thought the audience was super disappointing in. Audience gave it a 45.
Idiots.
Are the audience.
Wild. Even more wild is the Rotten Tomatoes critics gave it a 5%.
5.
5%.
What are they watching?
Is that the
Man, that
lowest
hurt.
score ever on here?
Was that lower than
Pretty
my
close.
Chun-Li?
It may have been. I can't
I
remember.
think
Chung
that's
Lee's
lower
7?
than Chung Lee's Revenge.
I think that was 7, yeah.
Amazing.
Check this out.
This movie is worse than Chung Lee's Revenge?
If you'd watch that YouTube video of Chris Klein's performance, you'd know definitely.
Holy shit. I can't
Legend
believe
of
it's worse than The
Chung-Li.
Legend of Chung Lee's
Nope,
Revenge.
it's also at a 5%.
No, it's also 5.
Yep, neck
Perfect.
and neck.
Tied it.
Nice.
My God.
I want to show you the picture of it is Chris Klein with a gun with his weird scowl on his face. It's glorious. I may have to
Holy
hate
hell.
watch that soon.
You need to.
So none of you were very close. So I'm in the lead, just in case anybody wanted to know that.
Yeah, your 0 points is dominating right now.
Just crushing it. Let's go to Rance's movie.
I turned the clock back again. I like looking up old movies, and I'm going to 1987, and I'm going with Predator
Ooh.
with Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers, in the jungle,
Jesse the Body Ventura.
Jesse the Body Ventura.
I'm in.
I'm in.
In.
Okay,
I'll go first.
go ahead.
What a sigh.
just under a nice score at 68.
Okay. 68%. Got it.
Nice.
Go to Brian.
BK.
I think the critics would like this movie back when they had a sense of humor a little bit and they appreciated a movie for what it was. I'm going to go 82.
Ooh,
Might be really too high.
that's a ballsy guess.
Okay.
I'm right in between both of them. I went with 71. If it bleeds, we can kill it. That's all I know. That's all I learned from that movie.
Get to the chopper.
Get down.
Well, the audience really enjoyed this movie at 87%.
Almost got it.
And we almost had somebody hit it spot on in the final for the critics, 81%.
Oh,
1% on Predator.
wow.
Okay.
That's
I like it.
really surprising and credible to the critics. Well done.
That's right.
That's
Back
like them liking Fast and Furious movies now.
Right.
I think Brian is in the lead. So yeah,
He's got the
Brian,
second
why don't
hand.
you go?
All right. So I noticed that, and I want to give a shout out because coming back, Fargo season 4 is coming back the end of this month. So get your DVR set. Chris
Yep.
Rock, Timothy Oliphant's in this season.
Set in Kansas City.
That's right. Should be
Yeah.
great. So in that vein, I went with the movie from 1996, Fargo.
Okay.
All right, I'm in.
I'm in.
Yep.
All right, let's go to Josh.
I mean, this is most definitely a Schlansky movie. It was very good, but I think it's going to be a little bit too good, a little bit too high. I'm going to say it's a 96.
Okay. Let's go to Rance.
I remember there was maybe some Oscar buzz around this movie, maybe a couple people nominated for Oscars out of this movie. I put 93%.
Same ballpark for me, 92.
92.
Not much separation happening here.
We do have a deduction,
Oh!
and it comes from the audience that
Okay.
agreed with Rance's 93.
Very good.
Nice.
So he'll get the 5-point deduction, but it comes down to the critics. 94. 94% for Fargo, the movie. You guys were all right around it.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a good one.
I guess that was too obvious.
It was very good. All right, Kitty, you're the decider here.
All
There you
right.
go.
Since I am in dead last place, maybe you guys can all just blow this one super hard and get me back in the lead. With a little bit of a nod to our draft tonight, I went with A Time to Kill. Old Sandra Bullock, McConaughey, Samuel L. Jackson movie.
Good movie.
I legitimately have never seen that.
Oh my gosh.
Flying Blind.
I'm shocked by that.
One of McConaughey's best performances ever, and he's just a youngster in it.
Yeah, he's very young.
Ashley Judd, she looks fantastic. Bullock, good
It's a
one.
real Bullock vehicle.
I mean, that's some powerful. It's a powerful cast.
Donald Sutherland.
Yep, I'm in.
Yep.
All right.
Josh, you're in first, so let's go to you.
I mean, with a cast like that, it's got to be fresh. Murder mystery, I'm guessing, from the title. I'm guessing it was late 90s and Sandy Bully's prime. I'm going to go 77.
All right. Let's go to Rance next.
I think this is a phenomenal movie. I put 94%.
Wow.
94.
What was that one with Sandy Bullock and wasn't Gosling? It was like Murder by Numbers,
That is exactly the title.
and that's a different movie.
Different
That
movie.
is a different movie.
One was
I
Murder
Ryan
by
Gosling
Numbers.
is not in this film.
Okay,
I enjoyed Murder by Numbers. That's good
that was
Gosling.
good.
Gosling was probably a teenager during.
I think he played a college student or maybe a high schooler.
High school.
He was
They were
probably
high
10
school
years
seniors.
old in this.
High school
in
seniors.
this
Yeah.
time
All
to
right.
kill.
Okay, so preteen.
All right, BK. BK, what do
Preteen.
you got? What do you got here for a time to kill?
I got it at a 90. I think
90.
a very good movie. I think there will be a couple of haters though.
All right. Well, you guys were all over the audience score of 85, right around it.
No.
Critics were not as happy with this
That's
one
not
as you
good.
guys
Oh,
were.
no.
It is down at 67.
What?
67 for a
These
time to
critics
kill.
are morons.
That's outrageous.
I think they nailed it, guys.
Buffoons.
Completely, I gotta be honest with you. I think they
it.
nailed it. I think they
Jeez
absolutely nailed that
Louise.
movie.
I
This
can't
week
believe
sucked.
that. That ending that McConaughey gives, this monologue or whatever at the end to convince, I mean, that is amazing.
His closing argument or whatever it was.
Closing argument about brings a guy to tears.
Is he a lawyer in that too?
He's a lawyer. Sam Jackson's locked up in jail. You're
Yeah,
a good lawyer,
And they
Jake.
deserve to die.
I hope they rot in hell.
They burned in hell.
Good stuff. Well, it was a great job, guys. Get me in this, catapult me right into second place.
Yep.
Yep.
Josh
Accomplished.
Good round, Josh.
Josh, you
brought
gotta
us
watch that film. You have to watch it.
I'll put it on my list.
Josh got a great
Yeah,
advantage
Cass.
by choosing a 5 film.
That was a smart play.
I mean,
I just can't believe it was that low.
That's still egregious to me.
Hard to
Outrageous.
believe
Five
it
is
was
crazy.
the same as Chung Lee's Revenge.
The legend of Chun-Li. Come on.
Oh,
I don't,
okay.
Let's not
Sorry.
besmirch. Let's not besmirch this movie with Kristen Krolik in it.
Was that the birthplace of the true Schlansky critic, where they absolutely have to hate comedic sequels?
Possible.
Maybe. I don't know.
Would have been around.
I need to watch
around
it.
the
I
right
need to-
time.
I might need to watch it again.
Yep.
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I mean,
I laughed nonstop in Major League 2.
Very good.
they
Yep.
probably hated the trope of Sheen getting rich and getting soft, and then it's just the teacher brings him back down to earth, and he rediscovers his fastball.
I love that they brought a character from his past that we'd never heard of before.
Right. So they probably thought it was
And
a
they-
little too
They
formulaic.
probably hated
5%
that doofus Rube Baker too.
Rude Baker's so good.
He's a doof. I'm with the critics on that. I'm like, the guy's a doofus.
What? Shut up, Kitty. We're moving on. Rube Baker is religious. He's a religious figure on this podcast.
Need to go back and watch Hot Shots Part 2 too.
True story. Yeah.
Or duh.
Duh.
Hard dude. Waiver wire for the week. Before we move on to this week, we got to address the poll from week.
Do we?
Ugh.
We had a potato chip draft, and last I saw, there was a tie for first place.
Oh, boy.
Last second tie between
Ooh.
Kitty with the last second Hail Mary vote to get him into a tie with Brian.
All
I
right.
didn't vote for it either.
I didn't either.
I did.
Even though I will sometimes.
Yep. I mean, there's no shame in that game. No shame in that game. Kitty, you had the earlier draft pick, so Brian is
True.
going to actually win it. So Brian won this week, and for some reason
Congrats
they
on
split
this.
up and
Congrats on winning this one, Brian.
they gave him
Thanks.
34% and Kitty's 33% on the
Well, then
Twitter poll.
he did win then.
Very,
Legit
very
win.
interesting. So it went Brian, then Kitty, then me, then Rance. I don't know what they had against
tough.
Rance and I's list. I thought we did really good.
I liked my chips. I thought it
I don't-
had potential.
Yeah.
I thought you had some good ones. I don't think people are on the with the vinegar and salt, pepper, whatever.
Salt and pepper.
They need
The cracked sea salt and pepper. Well,
That- Yeah.
I think it's one that people just haven't had. They're so used to the other flavor ones. They don't go for those. But
I mean, I
that-
think our demographic very much shops at Walmart, and they are very, very popular at Walmart. They're all over the place.
Interesting.
Gotta get some Zaps in Walmart. May have pushed me over the edge if people had tried some Zaps.
Yeah. I was very interested in that chip. Not gonna lie.
Jesus, some zaps.
So
There were two. What was that? Oh, that's stupid. That Sam Potbelly apparently has some Zaps
Potbelly,
too as well.
Yep, I think that's what you was that what you shouted out? What did you?
The Jersey
Mike's. That's what it was.
Jersey Boys.
No,
The one off 151st and Metcalf. It's called Jersey Boys.
Like the singing group?
Like the musical.
Singing group?
Jersey Boys is the old timey singing group.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. This week has gone off the rails.
Mm-hmm.
This week, huh?
This week we are going to draft our favorite books. We're all pretty avid readers among the four of us, so I'm very excited. We're not at all going to lose our audience on this, I don't think.
Well, I think we've got some readers in the audience. They're just gonna
Maybe.
They're gonna find out that we don't read at all. That's all.
So our favorite books. Brian, you're leading off. Go ahead with your first favorite book.
All right. I hate reading. That's well documented by this point. But when I did read, it was in school. And so my favorite book ever was the shortest book on the shelf that gets you that next bucket. So you get that shitty ass Pizza Hut personal pan pizza.
I remember that. Oh yeah.
I mean, I took it as a competition, Josh.
Christ.
If somebody was ahead of me on the bucket thing, I was reading nonstop, and I just like hate read it. I didn't like what I was reading. I would just read it enough to pass the report, so I get the check mark on the bucket, and we can go to Butler and get some more pizza.
Personal pan pizzas.
Personal pan pizzas.
Little bucket pizza.
And then the teacher would look at you in disgust, like, Brian, no. Like, you could read better than this. Is this what – that's what I do as a teacher. Like, no, I ain't counting this shit, man.
Get out of my sight.
Get you another book at your level. Get out. Now run along, get out of my sight, go get you a book at your level.
It was on the purple level. That should count.
The puppy that lost his way. You didn't read that one?
You're not going to pull a fast one on me just so you can get personal pan pizza.
Well, you and I would
have earned that shit, but
I would
take Steve Rance dressing down one of his students like Gordon Ramsay does one of those poor bastards on Hell's Kitchen.
You're better than that.
This is despicable.
I mean, I would have taken my teacher to court over keeping buckets from me in school.
And they wrote those. They wrote those bucket coupons. They wrote those on the flimsiest paper known to man. So if it made it home in your backpack, it was a win in and of itself.
You protected it like it was gold.
Yep.
You cannot lose that. It's well earned.
What a great win-win for Pizza Hut. They're advertising. They're getting the parents in there because this is just a measly little personal pizza.
Yeah, and they have to get more pizzas.
Yeah.
They can't just go in there and get the bucket. They gotta get their own big pizzas.
What a great advertising scheme for Pizza Hut. Kitty.
All right.
Your favorite book?
I'm gonna go back to high school, and I'm gonna go with Brave New World. One of the few that I really, really enjoyed reading when we were in high school.
The Aladdin song, Brave New World.
No,
that's a whole new world. I believe
it's a whole brave.
This was the one about. This was basically they put people basically where you were born. You were alpha, beta, gamma, delta, or epsilon. You were one of the 5 categories. Alpha is the best. Epsilon was just the morons that couldn't do anything but manual labor. So it's kind of
sounds like a Schlansky book.
It was a real Schlansky book there, Rand. A lot of lessons in that one. A lot of lessons. Has this drug called Soma people would take to forget about all their troubles. It's good stuff.
Maybe I
all
need
about
some
class
of that.
warfare.
Yep. Good times.
Okay. So that was an actual book?
Yeah.
An actual book I'm going to pick on mine.
Okay.
Wild.
Right.
I know, right?
Well,
How about that?
My favorite book of all time is Andy Reid's Current Playbook.
Yeah.
I think that's just a winner. I think it's just universally loved, and I mean, it's undeniable as a very, very successful book. So
did you see that tight end screen they set up?
I mean,
that was fun.
It was.
And it could go.
Oh, is this a screen? Oh, is this a screen? No, there's Travis Kelce right over the middle.
Well, it's got 3 options on that play too, because even the guy out to the right, there were only 2 defenders standing out there, and there was 1 blocker technically. So if he makes one guy miss, he can go a long way too.
Critically acclaimed Andy Reid's Playbook.
Great
My
pick,
number
Josh.
1 book.
Critically acclaimed.
Rants.
Well, I was going over this with my wife, and she's like, I've never even seen you read any books. And I was like, I've read 3 books since we've been together in 10 years. You just don't know.
Oh, wow.
And one of those books is called Those Guys Have All the Fun. It's the ESPN book about behind the scenes in ESPN and how it got started and how it came up in the 70s and how it worked its way up to the huge corporation it is now. Plus, it talks about some of their personalities and, some of these just sleazeballs. Come to find out, Mike Tirico is a huge sleazeball.
Oh, my. Oh, really?
Yeah, there's been some rumors coming out about him.
Multiple allegations in this book
maybe
about
like
him and
4
women
years ago. Yeah.
being a stalker.
All the women that do all the hair and makeup always
Yep.
always have complaints about him.
Oh,
waiting for women outside of work, and he's never been fired. But yeah, you ought to read it. There's some juicy stuff in this book.
Oh, no.
When they first started, lots of debauchery, drugs, alcohol. I mean, it's pretty good read. I mean, it's very entertaining. So,
I like it.
talking about Oberman obviously being a complete asshole.
I
Everybody
would have thought
hated
Berman
his
would
guts.
have like his own
Berman's
chapter.
on there too. Berman's on there too. I mean, he's not well liked either. It's pretty good. It's James Andrew Miller is the author.
And it's called
And
what?
These Guys Have All the Fun. I mean, it's thick. I mean, it is a thick book. I mean, it took me some time.
2 C's on thick.
Yeah, but it's a good read. It's entertaining.
Boy, I mean, we have had some revelations on this podcast. Balto, fraud. Mike Tirico might be a shitbag.
Total
Wow.
slime ball.
Huh. That's too bad. All right. Rance, next pick.
And my next pick was another book I read about the Cowboys in the 90s called Boys Will Be Boys.
Oh,
That's
God,
good.
all the
Good
cocaine.
pick. Yeah.
Unbelievable
It just comes with its own
read.
8 ball when you buy it.
Yeah. Some of the Charles Haley stories are in there.
Yeah, the Haley
remarkable.
stuff is what I remember. I never read the book, but just hearing all the rumors about him just taking his
Dropping
dick out in
deuces in
meetings.
cars of his teammates, shaking his dong in front of teammates' face.
Locker room stuff.
They had a story in there. Charles Haley rode his motorcycle into Randy White's bar down there in Dallas. Randy White was an old Cowboy Hall of Famer. And he starts just revving it up, burning rubber in there. And they said Randy White just knocked him out right there on the spot. I mean, it's great. And they talk about the White House, how Nate Newton's like, they didn't want us doing this stuff outside of, so hell, we just went and bought a house and we did it all right there across from the practice facility. Orgies, drugs, Michael Irvin stabbing teammates in the throat with scissors at the barber shop. I mean, it's good stuff.
Incredible.
Yep.
Fun times.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably something I need to actually read.
Yeah, and Dallas needs to get back to doing that stuff if they're ever going to win a Super Bowl.
They lost their edge.
That's the key to success.
It really is. That's just good. It's team bonding right there.
Starts
Well,
with you,
bonding
Dak.
experiences.
You're the leader.
Come on,
That's right.
Dak.
Jerry
Buy a
Jones is
house
trying
next to
his
the practice
best.
facility and throw huge parties.
Uh-huh. I mean, it only makes sense. My next pick of my favorite books of all time is I don't know if it was a Sears catalog or a JCPenney catalog, but it'd call it the Wish Book, and it'd always have like the toys and stuff for that year.
Oh,
And you'd be able to circle them, and they'd be super overpriced and pieces of shit, and they'd never end up on the under the tree because they were just absolute trash.
You
You decided you dog-eared 85 of the 100 pages.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, I mean, I would do that almost weekly just to make sure that the integrity of the wish list was still intact and Brian didn't
Right.
compromise it in any way. But I would do that year round. I think they came out in the summer to give you plenty of time to order it on through the phone. But yeah, I used to read the shit out of those things.
I like that.
Yeah, that's an annual tradition for most little kids, I think.
Yep.
I'm not sure what they
They
do now.
never get any of the toys is what's
No.
amazing.
Never.
Right. Maybe get 1 or 2 out of the 1,000 you picked out.
Which, I mean, for multiple reasons, probably for the best.
Yeah, that's definitely for the best.
Kitty.
All right, I'm going to go with the first baseball scorebook you fill out when you're at a Major League Baseball game.
Ooh, I like
That's
it.
just a fun way to pay attention as a kid when you're a little kid. That's probably a real scam by your parents to get you to sit down and shut up and pay attention to the game. No running around. We're going to keep this scorebook here. So let's have some fun and watch the game and learn a little bit too.
Yep.
Learn all the position numbers and all that.
I like that.
Great.
Whatever,
Outside
grow the game.
box.
Kitty's out here doing growing the game.
That's right. I'm
right.
trying to.
Mhm.
Brian.
All right. So maybe the only books I actually did enjoy reading in school were choose your own adventure books. I love choose your own adventure books. And you always had, I mean, when you're a veteran, before you flip to the next page, after you have to keep your finger in the
Just in case
Just
it's a
in
dead
case.
end.
Nope, just kidding.
Yep.
I did not actually fall in the pit.
Yep. Because they'd get you every time. And it was tricky, too, because those books look like they're pretty thick. But obviously, they've got a bunch of scenarios playing out, so they don't take that long to read. So I love Choose Your Own Adventure books, so that might be my only actual books on here.
I like that. I mean, I would read one of those right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And you mean you had all the control.
Yep. And even those got even better because I think if you have like an Amazon Alexa, you can kind of choose your own adventure. They have like stories built in.
Yep.
Like, do you want to go down the long hallway or do you want to go outside across the bridge?
Yep.
You can tell her I want to do that, and it'll just take you on the. I mean, it's better than a book, but not as good as a movie.
That's right. Always.
Okay.
Second pick.
Third pick.
Yeah,
Third pick.
Well, second of the My favorite book is whatever my kid's favorite book is. So when you're looking for distractions, something to keep your kid occupied, they have their favorite books, right? They just go through on their own. You don't have to even read them to them. You can just give them the books and they just have a day.
Yep.
And so my favorite book is whatever their current favorite book is.
I like that.
That's a good one.
I've got 2 or 3 different children's books that are pretty much generalized by that pick for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
Look, it changes by the week too sometimes.
It definitely does, and it's not. That's not going to change.
No,
that is not going to change.
Well, we did I remember when we were little kids. My dad would we would have him read us the same book every single night.
Yep.
And once in a while, he'd change the words. He's like bored and and so, but me and my brother would, no, that's not the words. Like, can you guys read? No, but we know that's not the words. That's what he said the last 30 nights in a row.
Shut up and go to sleep.
Yeah, basically.
All right, book's done.
Backhanded
Rips it in front of your face.
Throws it against the wall.
You read it then.
Yeah, exactly. It's your turn. You're up.
Why am I even wasting my time?
You know the book so well. Why am I reading it?
Yep. I like it.
All right.
My turn?
Kitty.
No, Kitty's turn.
So, my next choice, another sports-related book, and once in a while you play a really nice course, and on the golf cart they have the yardage book.
Mm-hmm.
And
I like that.
Sweet, I know exactly how far I need to clear this bunker that I won't clear. So I sure as shit think I can clear it 270. Not a chance, but I'm gonna sure as shit grip it and rip it and go for it.
Yeah.
Just makes you feel like you're somewhat a professional golfer when they give you that yardage book and you know exactly how far it is to every single bunker, tree, dog leg, what have you.
Yeah.
It's just nice to have that information. Is just so nice to have. Which now anymore you get some of these super expensive rangefinders. You click the button and you look in, it shows you a picture of the hole on it now. So yardage books are getting closer to obsolescence, but still nice to have.
Along with every other book.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard to find books that are relevant anymore because there's either better versions online or, movies.
Yeah.
It's just there's always a better version somewhere else.
I remember in speech class in college, a girl got up and gave the speech that books are better than movies, followed by my speech of movies are better than books.
Yeah. Just by pure coincidence.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that.
There was no we didn't get together, we didn't know each other, we both happened to pick that speech as a persuasive speech.
I choose to think that you had actually just like you had a completely different speech ready, but you're
flip
the
the script
hatred of
immediately.
books just
Yeah, exactly.
it just like propelled you across the finish line of just talking shit on books for 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that ESPN book that Rance talked about. Can you imagine what they did if they had like a 30 for 30 series of people like actually being interviewed about that?
Yeah.
That would
And
have
they
been
should.
electric.
And you get you hire the actors from all those unsolved mystery recreations.
Oh,
to
yeah.
play the scenes.
Blur out their faces.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing recreation. I like that.
A reenactment.
Or the guys with the deep voice, they're trying to block
Yeah.
out their voice.
Like it's
Buffalo
from
Bills
Cheaters.
back there.
Turns out Chris Berman took a shit in my car. Maybe the best part about having a podcast that pretty much only your friends and family listen to is nobody's a reader, so you can talk shit all the time about books and nobody cares. Everybody be like, yeah,
Maybe getting somebody fired up out there.
books suck.
Oh yeah.
My third pick for my favorite book ever is the Book of Mormon, the musical,
Right.
from the South Park guys.
I hear Josh Gad's great in that.
Yeah, I haven't seen the actual musical of it, but I've listened to the soundtrack multiple times, and it kills me. It is very funny, and I haven't even seen it yet. So it's on my list. Very, very funny stuff. So I'm one of these years I'm going to check out the book. It always comes to Kansas City. I'm going to go watch.
Yeah,
it
they usually didn't bring it in town. So
usually pretty expensive to go though.
Yeah, it's a little pricey ticket because they know it's high demand.
Mm-hmm. But I've
I
only
haven't
heard
seen that.
everybody who watches it loves it.
Yeah, I need to go check it out too.
Into it. Rants.
My next book is When the Game Was Ours. It's written by Jackie McMullen about bird magic. My mom, I think, bought me that book for Christmas. It was a really good read. Talks about, magic coming up and his career, and Bird coming up where he lived, and how they were two totally different personalities, but they had a lot of respect for each other, and just the rivalry that they had, in the 80s, Lakers, Celtics, a lot of the same stuff that was in that 30 for 30. Yeah, 30 for 30 stuff that they had on the Lakers and Celtics a while back. They talked about the Dream Team. I mean, it was good. It's good read. So I really enjoyed that one.
Was that prior to Jackie Mack being on like part of the interruption all the time, or not? Around the horn.
I mean, I think the book was written in 2009, so
living right there, yeah,
right around sometime in there. Yep.
Nice.
Good.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You actually did some reading.
He taking this seriously.
Yep.
Well, I told you I read 3 books in 10 years, and those are the 3.
Uh-oh, we're on fourth pick.
He has no fourth round pick.
I'm going
He's
to
in
have to go
trouble.
I'm going to have to go way back in the time machine.
All righty.
Let's go.
Goosebumps.
I thought of Goosebumps,
Yes.
but I went back
Even further.
and the Hardy Boys. Old Frank and Joe Hardy were complete badasses to me when I was like in 3rd and 4th grade.
Sure.
I've read so many of those books.
Busting criminals, solving crimes. I mean, they're batting 1,000. I mean, they get their man every time, just kind of like Scooby-Doo does. I mean, nobody gets away from Frank and Joe Hardy, and I mean nobody.
If those guys are in your town, do not commit a criminal act. You are not getting away with it.
Not even close. Don't even think about committing a crime in front of those guys, and they could get out of anything. I mean, they get captured in every single book, but they got out of it. They got it. Yep, every time.
Like the precursor to those was like the Encyclopedia Brown books. I think they did this something similar there, maybe. That rings a bell.
They started writing Hardy Boys books like back in the 30s. I mean, they've almost been around for 100 years. Insane.
That's crazy.
Still busting crimes, and they haven't got any older.
Haven't aged a bit.
100% close rate.
There's a Hardy Boys TV show coming.
They're shit.
What?
Me. On what?
Boy.
Like
I think it's
Nickelodeon or
kids.
something?
I can't tell.
That's good stuff. There we go.
Well, they need to get it out on Netflix where Frank and Joe are just beating the shit out of people. Working them over.
A TV MA series.
Yeah.
More of a Ray Donovan type series than
I mean, breaking
Scooby-Doo.
arms, snap kicking, stuff like that.
Is it better than that old PBS show Ghost Rider?
I mean,
yes.
Nobody knows
I mean,
Ghost
I don't
Rider.
even know, but I'm sure.
I remember. I think that rings a very faint bell, like Ghost Rider.
But we're talking about TV shows now.
Yeah, now he's in the TV. So
Yeah.
we're talking books here, Josh,
I mean,
not TV shows.
That's my book series.
Get your head out of your ass.
Ghost Rider.
All right, fine. My
Kyler
final
Murray.
pick. My final pick. Along the lines of Brian's book it trope earlier. I read the novelization of Dumb and Dumber.
Really?
So this comes with
What?
a story. Back in grade school in 6th grade, we had a how many books could you read in this amount of time? And at one of those book fairs, there was a double novelization of a movie pack of Dumb and Dumber and The Mask. And at the last minute, I did a book report on The Mask and Dumb and Dumber to push me over the top and win that contest. I won like a sweet CD player. It was about this big.
Very nice.
That I immediately have no idea where it went. So it was a great memory.
I'd say Brian took it to listen to
Probably.
his Nas CD or Mace or something.
Yeah, Limp Bizkit,
No way.
chocolate starfish, and hot dog flavored water were flowing through that speaker box real soon.
Taking advantage
I'm
of
gonna
those
take the
Columbia Records deal.
Novelization of Dumb and Dumber.
Very good.
BMI. What was that old?
You
that
got
old
12
music
CDs
group?
for $1 or something like that.
Columbia House or whatever.
Yeah, that was money. You were a sucker
right.
if you weren't doing that.
Hook, line,
True.
and sinker. Got us.
I never did it. I was a sucker.
Oh,
Kitty.
man.
Final pick.
All right. I basically have a novelization of a website as my final pick, and that is this book right here. Oh, Hot Chicks with Douchebags, the book.
I like it.
Brought a visual aid.
That. Have you been reading that?
It's just a picture, but oh, there is words.
Picture, and then the guy makes a big old commentary about what kind of douchebag this guy is.
Nice.
It is
that's
just.
awesome. Show some more pics.
Let's see here. We got.
Well, that's the same one.
Yeah, same one. How was that
No,
earmarked?
Oh, no.
What was
Oh,
that?
no, hold on. Let's-
Find a couple douchebags on there and some hot chicks.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It's like Christian McCaffrey.
Bad.
down there.
Oh,
Oh,
my
no.
God.
That's a juice head.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Do you see that gold cross chain? Oh,
no
wow.
way.
no.
Is that William Hung?
Yeah.
Who was
kinda like us.
the Gangnam Style guy?
Yeah.
Right.
Thigh?
That is,
Yeah.
This guy.
Looks
This
like
guy's
Sai.
actually this is the Buddha bag.
Okay, sure it is.
What a book.
That looks entertaining.
Oh, it is. I remember. I think Shetman borrowed it on an airplane once to read through it.
Oh, J. Screw.
Mhm.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
That seems like a book that Drew McGarry would write,
Yeah, it does.
and it would be fantastic.
It's a ridiculous. The website was hilarious too, and then he just like, I might as well write a book about it.
Collection. Let's do it.
I like
gave me-
it. I
Yeah,
like
gave
that
me
a
so many.
lot.
Gave me so many laughs on the website. I figured I'd throw him a bone and buy the book from him.
That's hilarious. I love that.
Well done, Brian. Final pick of the night. Best
Oh.
book.
All right, my favorite book that's left is an audiobook, Josh. There's 0.0% chance that I ever read a book again
Mm-hmm.
from start to finish. But there is a chance that I'll listen to an audiobook.
Sure.
And we've covered movies are better than books. Plenty. But an audiobook is still considered a audiobook. So I'm going to say that it counts and say I'm going to if you want me to read your book, you better have an audio version of it.
Oh, it 100% counts.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I mean, that's some people's only way to get a book inside. I mean,
Oh,
they
yeah.
don't have an option but to listen to a book. So I think there's nothing wrong with an audiobook.
I mean, the odds have dropped with how little I've been driving during
Right.
the
That
pandemic.
also hurts the chances when your driving goes from 40 minutes a day to 0.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But when you do a road trip I can knock out an audiobook.
Sure.
So I'm going to have
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
What?
I know. I think I know.
I'm not going anywhere, Josh.
Oh, you're just saying an audiobook. There's not something
Audiobook.
specific. Oh,
No,
okay.
audiobook.
Okay.
I'm talking generals here because I don't read specific things. We've covered
Sure.
that. Not since I was in elementary school.
I just remember going on the road trip and reading Corollas in 50 years will all be chicks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah, that was probably the last one I listened to, and since then, podcasts became a thing. So
Yeah, exactly.
audiobooks are out.
Yep. Can't wait to read the Clearing Waivers podcast book. Inevitably going to be published.
That's right.
So we got let's open
Behind
up
the
for honorable mentions here. I got the Book of Eli, starring Denzel Washington.
I'm gonna go with matchbooks.
Ooh, yeah. Not to be confused with Matchbox 20.
Not at all.
I've got the book that the judge throws at you.
Ooh, yeah. That's a good one.
The visualization of the judge throwing a book at someone, like literally, I like
Powerful. Yeah.
That's a good. That's good. I like that.
I've got the Book of Love.
Ooh.
Oh, I wonder who wrote the Book of Love.
Got Could have been anybody.
Yep.
Well, we know Rance only brought 4, so he doesn't have any other.
I did find this book in my daughter's bedroom. She has a shelf full of books, and I always think this book is funny.
Quantum
And
Physics.
it's Go the
Oh.
F to Sleep.
Yes.
It's a good one.
That's an
Very nice.
endearing one.
Disgruntled parent wrote that one.
I've got the saying, "Book 'em, Dano."
Oh,
One of my favorite books.
Christ.
All right, we did it.
We made it through.
Let's move it
16
on.
picks.
I'm looking
there were
forward
actual
to,
books in there too.
But
there's
surprisingly,
a few.
actual books made the list.
Yeah.
I mean,
All
we have
mine
a
were books. I mean, I took it seriously. I mean,
we have a
that's what
Schlansky on
I
our
had.
podcast, and it went to Rance as actual book contributor.
I thought about going all
And I'm
books.
sure
just
I'll finish dead
absolutely
last.
Upset of the century, maybe.
I don't know, man. Some of those, like you're reading books that are going to appeal to the sports fan of this podcast, with the especially the Cowboys one. If only you'd read the Mets Cocaine Days book of the '80s.
I got to read that one. There's also one about the behind the scenes of Saturday Night Live. That's
that's just got to
really
be
It's
cocaine
got to be
fueled as
some
well.
stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be into that
Skeletons
one,
for
too.
days.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to our best bet. We don't have a theme song for it yet, so if there's any sink pissers out there that want to give it a shot, the best bet is going to be a recurring segment every week, without a doubt, or at least for football season. So get on it if you want to be featured on the Clearing Waivers podcast. But best bet, basically one stone cold lock that we have coming up on the following slate of games, whether it be college football, basketball, baseball, whatever you have. Last week we went 2-2. Shout out to
That's a
Rance
win.
and Brian for cashing.
Dominating.
Andy and I looking super dumb. Like, not only did we lose, but we went down
Teams
in
got beat.
flames. Yeah.
Our teams
And
got
who did
beat
you guys
down.
take again? I couldn't
I
recall.
took the Falcons. Josh had Philly.
I went Philly minus 6.5 or 6.
And they lost by 10.
Yep. With a pretty solid lead there in the first half.
17-0 they were up, I believe.
Yep. Old the football club. You can't ever count them out.
WFC is tough.
Yep. So let's go with the winners first. Everybody listen up to Brian and Rance. I'm going to start with Rance. Rance, what's your best bet for the week?
I mean, I figured other people got this down, but I mean, I'm glad I'm going first. I put the Jags. I got the Jags at plus 10.
Yeah.
That's a good bet.
A lot of points.
A lot of
Mania.
points. They look pretty decent. I mean,
At
I
Tennessee,
watched that
it's,
game last night. I mean, Tennessee, I think, will still be pretty good and win several games this year, but I don't think they're going to blow anybody out.
Plus, you've got a Monday night team, a late Monday night game
Yeah,
coming off that. That's always a
short
couple points there
week.
usually.
Jags come in with a big win. Plus 10's a lot. Give me the Jags plus 10.
All right.
And what did the Titans do to justify that?
I don't know. I mean, they would have probably – the only thought is because they missed so many field goals, they would have won by
maybe.
double digits, so they would have looked a little more dominant had they not missed every field goal.
Yeah, Goskowski looked fantastic.
It was impressive.
What a cliff he hit, man.
Yeah.
The most accurate
Crazy.
kicker in history for a while, and now he's dropped way down just immediately.
Yeah.
Well, that was what the one during the broadcast. It said the Titans made 8 field goals last year.
That's wild.
That's an insane
What?
low number of field. I thought for sure they said that they only made 8 total field goals last year as a team.
That would be insane if that's
Well,
true.
they tried 6 of them yesterday.
Yeah.
Get one in.
2 for 6.
I was gonna say they're still on that on that pace for 6. Brian, what's your best bet for the week?
Well, I hate to beat a dead horse, but I brought my bat this week, and I'm just going to beat on the Jets again. When I saw the lines come out, I just don't understand it. I mean, the Niners laying 7 against the Jets. The Niners coming off a heartbreaking loss to the Cardinals, so they're going to be pissed off. Jets are coming off a loss. They might be pissed off too, but who cares? They suck. They're
Where's
not going to. The Jets.
6 now.
I think
It
I had
opened at
7.
Better.
Yeah, it opened at 7. Now it's down to 6.
It's stuck at 7.
Which
And
doesn't make any sense.
This should be double digits. I mean, I
Yeah.
think in my mind, the Niners win this by 20 points, and the Jets just put Lev Bell on the IR, so that's like their only weapon they really have. So I just don't get how that number stayed at 7. So maybe Vegas knows something I don't, but I just don't get this line at all. So I've got to take the Niners -7.
Who is their backup running back?
Frank Gore?
Mike Adams, Frank Gore, and they did just activate Kalen Balaj, I believe.
They signed
Oh.
Ballard, yep,
Okay.
whatever his name is.
Well, they got all types of weapons right there.
Just
Right.
They're good.
out the yin yang with weapons.
Yep.
Their draft
they'll
pick
be
Mims
fine.
is on the IR too.
Yeah.
The Jets had
Jamison Crowder and nobody.
Well, Michael Pirine would be their guy, maybe the rookie that they picked, but
He was hurt
banged up
last week,
1.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They still got Chris Herndon.
Yep.
He's there.
I
They
got
the
him in
weapons.
fantasy. Picked him late.
Well, that's too bad.
Well,
Um,
be behind a lot, so you might
That being
not be
said, you
just
don't
awful.
make money betting on sports by betting favorites every week, but
right.
I hated this line so much when I saw it. So maybe Vegas knows something, I don't know, but
Yeah.
Right.
the Niners
That
should
stinky,
have all the
stinky cheese
determination.
there.
Yeah,
Maybe they're laying some sneaky cheese. It sounds like.
because I don't feel like even the Jets fans would bet on themselves. Like
Yeah.
they've got a big
No.
fan base, but I don't think they believe in this team right now. They're not betting on them, I don't think.
That's
No.
wild.
No, they're not.
All right. Kitty, what do you got?
I am going to go with Kaiser mentioned it earlier, and I'm taking the old Seattle Seahawks -4 versus New England.
Yep.
Just as a fun stat, Seattle is 26-9-3 against the spread in primetime games since 2007.
That'll do.
So this team's got a good track record in primetime games, and I mean a lot of that's going to be Russell Wilson the last 7-8 years as well. So I just like Brian, like the New England, they didn't look all that great. They won by 10. They scored 21 at home. I guess should have been 28 if Harry doesn't fumble at the goal line. But at the same time, I mean, it's just I don't see the offense as being explosive, and the way the Seahawks looks last week, they definitely have potential to put up points. So I like it. I'll take the 4.
I
I'll
love it.
give Ford New England. Not worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
Touchdown win for Seattle.
That'd be a
Book
good
it.
game. That's a really good Sunday night game.
It is.
It'll be interesting for sure.
Just looking, those bastards put the Ravens and Texans on the same time with the Chiefs and the Chargers. That's some shit.
The Ravens may kill them.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I think.
Yeah, they
that's-
were
I think that's
-7,
good.
I think. Or
Minus
were.
7 down to 5 now.
Oh, I'd jump on that.
Yep, that's pretty good. My best bet is the Rams +3.5 against the Eagles. I had the Eagles, put them on a pedestal. They let me down. You're in the dungeon
Now
this
they're
time,
out.
baby. Yep. Rams are of course traveling across the country to go to Philly, and like Kitty said last week, you always got to bet the home dogs, but not this time. Rams look too good against the Cowboys. The Eagles are too porous on that front line. Aaron Donald's going to eat.
Oh my God.
So I wrote
should.
down the spreads of week 2 before week 1 happened, and
Yep.
Philly was minus 3.5 before week 1, and they lost 5 points on their spread to Philly plus 1.5 this week. That's how much everyone thought Philly sucked and the Rams looked better. So that's a hell of a line move from
Yes, it is.
after the weekend's action.
Well, it started out at 1, huh? Yeah. Well, it's at 3.5 now. I got him at 3.5. Give me the Rams plus 3.5. It's in the Rams' favor. I'm sorry.
Right.
It's
No, Philly was
in the Eagles' favor.
Philly was favored by 3.5 points.
Yes, that's
now the
what
Rams
it is
are
now.
favored. Now the Rams are favored.
Oh, is that what it is now? Well, I'm not reading them correctly. That makes more sense.
Master better.
Really good at I'm really good at betting, guys.
Take
Your
this
research
guy. Take
is
this
impeccable.
guy.
Really good at betting.
I'm seeing the Rams -1.
I got them
Sticking
at
with
3.5.
Rams.
I don't know where you guys were.
It's on Actions app, and it says Rams -1.
I know. When I looked at it, it was plus 3.5.
I think that's what it opened at.
Yes,
the open
it was.
number.
That's when I did my research because I'm really on the ball, guys.
Totally trust Josh.
Yep.
So you still sticking with your boys, the Rams?
Yes.
Yep.
100%.
All right.
Without a doubt, lock them
Essentially
in.
a pick 'em.
That's right. There you go.
Well, on that note, I mean, I don't think there's ever been a more accurate note to leave but we did it. That's going to do it for the Clearing Waivers podcast. And this week, we do appreciate you joining us one more time. All the Sink Pissers out there are a very special group to us, so we really, really appreciate you. If you haven't already, follow us on the Twitters and the Instagrams and stuff. Subscribe to us on anywhere you get your podcasts from. I would also recommend subscribing to us on the YouTube. We got video here. It's always good to get our reactions to our stupid mess ups, which are plentiful this week. But we would appreciate that as well. Share it with a friend and family member, any kind of sports fan that you might know about that doesn't already listen to us. But with that, for Brian, Kitty, and Rance, myself, we do appreciate it. Talk it off for now.
The day is done. Now the night has begun. Nerves in a restless crowd. The burning sun. Now nowhere to be found. Deep underground. 'Cause I have faith that nobody else can protect you, no. A page is burning, we'll all be dead under virgin snow. I have faith that nobody else can protect you, no. A page is burning, we'll all be dead under virgin snow. So hold your body close to the flames. Don't go so haughty, walking away. Hold your body close to the flames. Don't go to the flame.